Good morning, I'm Sarah Sapsanama, and these are the top stories so far. Chief ministers of all 7 provinces discontent with the intervention of central government, complain of delay in handover of administration, police and assets. China ready to provide access of all its seaports and 4 dry ports to Nepal. The deal likely to boost Nepal's import scenario. Brazil's front-running far-right presidential candidate Jair Bolsonaro has been stabbed in the abdomen while campaigning. Is in a serious condition and undergoing surgery. And Nepal registers its first win at the SAF Championship, crushes Bhutan 4-0. Next target hosts Bangladesh. Let us begin with the latest national political updates. Chief ministers of all 7 provinces have jointly expressed dissatisfaction over the federal government's alleged interference in provincial governments' rights, citing it as against the norms of the constitution. The chief ministers expressed their dissatisfaction at an event held in Pokhara yesterday to discuss on the problems faced by the provincial governments. The chief ministers are taking part in the event to come up with a common provincial agenda at the Provincial Coordination Council's meeting slated for 9th of September. Chief ministers have complained that the provincial governments have not been able to implement their policies and budget plans due to lack of staff management and a common regulation. The provincial governments have also urged the government to hand over complete authority for infrastructure and resources at the earliest. The chief ministers have urged the government to form a national natural resources and financial commission, citing inadequate government budget that has affected development works at provincial level. Likewise, they have also said that the local administration, police and government officials have not yet come under their jurisdiction. Chief ministers of all the 7 provinces also expressed commitment to support one another for effective implementation of federalism. Now, lawmakers have staged a protest against the government's decision to send the Nepal army for a joint military exercise between Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multisectoral Technical and Economic Cooperation BIMSTEC member nations, slated for 9th to 16th of September in Pune, India. The lawmakers have said the joint army drill does not match with the objective of BIMSTEC and that the government owes an explanation as to why it agreed to take part in the event. Leader of the main opposition, Nepali Congress, Aminender Rizal, even accused the government of lying to the public about the military exercise. Lawmaker of Nepal Mazdoor Kishan Party, Prem Sawal, expressed discontentment over the government's non-disclosure of preparations or intention of such an important multilateral event and warned that it was not in the best interest of the nation. China has agreed to allow Nepal access to all of its seaports and 4 dry ports in order to give a final form to the Transportation and Transit Agreement Protocol between the 2 nations. The agreement was struck late last night between the Nepal government and a special team of representatives of the Chinese government that arrived in Nepal to attend the 3rd consultative meeting for the Transit Protocol. Based on the agreement, Nepal can use any of the Chinese seaports to import goods. Likewise, both the sides have also discussed on strengthening 6 Nepal-China transit points. According to the Joint Secretary at the Ministry of Industry, Commerce and Supplies, Navraj Thakal, China has agreed to allow Nepal use its ports at Sigatse, Lhasa, Lanzhou, Qianjing, Xiangchang, Liajiang, among others. So far, Nepal has been importing goods from 3rd countries via India's Kolkata and Visakhapatnam ports, which on average takes between 1 to 3 months. Government officials have said if the transit agreement with China is implemented, Nepal will be able to import goods within 20 to 30 days. The transit agreement with China was struck when Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli first assumed office back in 2015. However, in the absence of a protocol, the agreement had not been implemented. And moving on, at a time when disputes are rife regarding Nepal's participation at the joint military exercise of BIMSTEC nations, the entity which is responsible to decide on national security policy and suggest the government regarding security issues has largely remained dormant. The National Security Council, which is chaired by Prime Minister, has become a venue to deploy administrators and security officials that have fallen out in terms with the government. According to the information received at the Security Department, Biplav-led Nepal Communist Party is making arrangements to conduct its own military exercise. Other security challenges the country is facing at the moment have not been studied at the government institutional levels. The National Security Council is a powerful entity with the jurisdiction of formulating security plans by evaluating the national security challenges. The National Security Council is led by the Prime Minister and includes the Defence Minister and the Chief of Army Staff. However, the meeting of National Security Council has not even taken place since KP Sharma Oli soldiered the responsibility of the Prime Minister. The Secretariat of the National Security Council is under the Defence Ministry. The Defence Secretary is the coordinator of the Council Secretariat, including representatives from all the 4 security departments. The National Security Strategy is supposed to be formulated on the basis of the analysis of this joint mechanism. However, the Council Secretariat has been transformed to a body where officials in bad terms are deployed. Discussions were not held at the National Security Council regarding whether Nepal should participate in the joint military exercise at a high-profile forum of the like of BIMSTEC or not. Elsewhere, provinces are ignoring the central government to formulate the Provincial Police Act. Ignoring the existing mechanism for discussion on national security clearly reflects the government's lack of apathy towards national security concerns. Now, a directorate was formed 10 years ago to deal with the weak implementation aspect of majority of the court's decisions. Despite its active status in the initial years, the directorate's activities have slowed down over time. As a result, there are a number of penalties and jail terms that have yet to be implemented. The Appellate Court Patan had ordered 5 years jail term to infamous Deepak Manange for operating contract killing 6 years ago. Manange was found guilty of plotting the murder of another infamous criminal, Chakri Milan. However, despite the verdict, Manange has been roaming about as a free man. To the general public's dismay, Manange not only lived a free man's life, he even won the elections as an independent candidate. Manange's case is only one among many that depicts the weak legal structure of the country. If we are to calculate the total days that convicted criminals have yet to fulfill, it accumulates to 112,770 years. Likewise, the penalty amount yet to be received sums up to 11,719.8 million rupees. If the directorate formed to monitor the implementation of the part of court's order continues to remain inactive, and if the convicted individuals get to live their life as equal to general public, the victims will not receive justice and the court's verdict will carry no meaning. A dozen offices have been scrapped at the local levels to adjust the employees. However, as they remain to be fully adjusted, it has resulted in the lack of employees at the local government. In this context, we had asked the employees of Kailali regarding the issues they have been facing as a consequence. In our Public's Voice segment, let's take a look at what they had to say.
Public Voice.
फिल्डको कामहरु सञ्चालन गर्न, मुद्दा मामिलाको कामहरु सञ्चालन गर्न र अनि यो व्यापारीहरुको काठहरु लिलाम अनि लिलाम भइसकेका काठहरुको पैसा जम्मा गर्ने अनि तिनीहरुलाई चाहिँ छोटबुझ दिने यस्ता कुराहरुमा पनि प्रभावित भएको छ।
डिभिजन प्रमुख पनि तोकिएको छैन अहिलेसम्म। अनि अब नयाँ बनेको डिभिजनमा को कर्मचारी हो के हो केही थाहा छैन। हामी साबिकको जिल्ला वन कार्यालय कर्मचारी त्यतिकै बसिरहेका छौं, हाजिर लगाएर बसिरहेका छौं, निर्देशन पर्खिरहेका छौं। 15 दिनमा 15,000 बुझाउने हामीले कहाँ बुझाउने, कसलाई बुझाउने? डिभिजन प्रमुख पनि छैन र 2 महिना अषाढ 12 गते तलब खाएको, अषाढ 12 गते तलब पनि पाएको छैन। कार्यालयमा आयो, ठाडो हाजिर लगायो, बसिरहेका छौं, काम केही पनि छैन।
कुनै अधिकारी हुन आएको हुनाले हैन, कुनै छाप पनि नहुने, अब दर्ता गर्न पनि नमिल्ने, चलानी पनि नमिल्ने, अनि त्यो हुनाले अलि गाह्रो भइरहेछ।
न कार्यक्रम छ, न बजेट छ, न कुनै केही छ हैन, न यो काम गर भन्ने हामीलाई केही त्यस्तो निर्देशन छैन।
It is now time for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
And the question is, what's your take on the Chief Minister's anger at the federal government? Your options are A, expected reaction, B, protecting oneself, and C, confusion due to transition period. The voting for that question is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. With that, it's now time for the sports update.
Sports news.
Nepal has secured its first win at the ongoing SAF Championship in Bangladesh. Nepal blanked Bhutan 4-0 in the second Group A match played yesterday afternoon. The victory means Nepal's hopes of progressing to the semi-finals stay alive. Having lost the first match 2-1 against Pakistan, Nepal was under pressure to register a win yesterday. Nepal's striker Sunil Bal was impressive in the match against Bhutan played at Bangabandhu National Stadium in Dhaka. Sunil Bal was directly involved in 3 goals scored by Nepal. Defender Ananta Tamang converted Sunil's corner in the 21st minute to give Nepal the all-important lead. Having led the first half 1-0, Nepal came all guns blazing in the second half to score 3 more goals. Bhutan was restricted to 10 men in the 69th minute as Nepal received a penalty. Nirajan Khadka was fouled in the D-box and Nima Wangdi was shown the red card and sent off. Meanwhile, Khaltimaghar's penalty kick was blocked by goalkeeper Shiring Dendup, but Sunil Bal scored in the rebound to double Nepal's lead. Bharat Khawas, who came in as substitute for Anjan Bista in the 76th minute, scored a beautiful goal 3 minutes later. His solo effort saw him carrying the ball from the midfield to seal it with a beautiful finish. Nepal scored its 4th goal in the fag end of the match as Nirajan Khadka headed home yet another corner from Sunil Bal. Now, following yesterday's victory, Nepal has 3 points from 2 matches. In the last match of the group stage, Nepal will take on Bangladesh. Nepal must win register a win against Bangladesh to secure its berth in the semi-final round. Meanwhile, Nepal's captain Biraj Maharjan recorded 69 caps for the country, the highest by a Nepalese footballer, while Nirajan Khadka scored a goal in the national jersey after 5 years. And moving on to international tennis, former world number 1 Serena Williams and 20th seed Naomi Osaka of Japan have stormed into the finals of the US Open. In the first semi-final played in Flushing Meadows, New York this morning, 17th seed Williams easily took care of 19th seed Anastasia Sevastova of Latvia in straight sets 6-3, 6-love to book a place in the finals of US Open. In another semi-final that just concluded a while ago, Naomi Osaka of Japan defeated 14th seed American Madison Keys in straight sets 6-2, 6-4 and advanced to the finals of US Open as well. And those are the latest headlines. Our next English bulletin will be at 11 this morning. Keep watching Kantipur TV HD for more news and entertainment. Have a great day ahead.